I move on, I wouldn't be a good side hustler if I didn't use this stage right now to promote the game. So I will tweet this really ugly link out right after the talk from Sophia V UX. You guys will all get $10 off using this promo code. Thanks. Okay, the second one I want to talk about. This is especially useful for your most far out audacious goals, the ones that are super scary. Many of you want to talk about them. So for about a decade now, I had this bug in my brain to start a local bookstore. And I know nothing about retail, I know nothing about inventory management, I don't know where to start. So for the past decade, all I would do to pursue this goal is I would take pictures of bookstores that inspired me. And then I had this thought that, how can I start today to go ahead and be the owner of this bookstore? That sounds kind of crazy, but how can I be this person now, even if it's a really low fidelity version of this person? So I was talking to my husband about this, and he said, yeah, go ahead and be the 8-bit version. And I absolutely love that. That reframing has been nothing short of revolutionary. So that day, I did the 8-bit version, and I ordered 2 books on Amazon.com. I'm halfway through that first one. And then I texted my friend, who happens to own an independent bookstore, and I said, can I shadow you for a day? And she said yes. And now I am at about a half day a week. I'm working for free. But I'm going and I'm working at this store. And I might not open this bookstore for another 5, 10 years. But now it feels doable, right? I'm already being that person today. And maybe I'm like the 16-bit version now. And that's awesome. Okay, so finally, I'm going to wrap it up with a meta inception example of this the last principle, which is so important. Teach what you need to know. This is exactly how object-oriented UX went from side hustle to bread and butter. So my first big talk in 2013 at UX Week had like these unnamed little seeds of object-oriented UX in it. I wasn't even calling it. I didn't even know what it was. And a few months after the talk, the organizer, Jesse James Garrett, he emailed the speakers and he says, does anybody have any suggestions for the next UX week? And my super obnoxious reply was, yes, me. Let me do the workshop version of the talk. And I had no plan for what this could be. I had never run a workshop before, but I knew I was onto something, and I knew that teaching that, I was going to have to figure out how to transfer and package my ideas. So the first workshop that I ran, I learned more than my participants. So I kept doing these workshops, and I kept doing it. And through teaching this, the process and the thing crystallized and became stronger and stronger. Oh, and what am I doing right now?
Wrapping up.
I'm wrapping it up. But don't you think that me teaching you about side hustling is making me a better side hustler? Yes, it is. So go out there and figure out a way to teach something that you need to learn so you can start becoming that 8-bit version of yourself and make a public deadline. Then go ahead and hustle to meet that deadline. Thank you.
This year is IA for Good, so all of our talks have different spins on how people are using IA for Good, and this one I think will be very clear. Thanks.
No. How about now? Still no.
There you go.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Good morning. My name is Stephanie Knoll, and last year I joined a young tech company right upstairs in Industrious, and we build tools and platforms for parents, teachers, and students to work together for the common goal of improving outcomes for students with special needs. We truly believe that a student's disability status should not dictate, we're here. All right, so just to pick up where we were, We truly believe that a student's disability status should not dictate their success in life or their journey through their education. So, that said, we are a team of parents, teachers, and former students with special needs. But most of all, we are advocates and allies. I want to tell you a little story that came out of an interview I had just a few weeks ago with a mom of 2 kids with special needs. She has an older daughter named Amanda, and she's in elementary school. So a little bit about Amanda. She is nonverbal because she has a chromosomal disorder, but she can speak through an iPad, communicate, speak. She is in the general classroom, but multiple times throughout the day, she leaves for therapies like speech therapy, occupational therapy. Just as important as those therapies is her being integrated with her peers in that general classroom. I mean, as it would be for any kid, emotional and intellectual development is often tied to being among your peers. So, if you remember back to your own childhood, or if you have kids, Valentine's Day is the day where you decorate your shoebox, you cut the little hole in the middle, and you make those Valentines, like those Star Wars, Disney, Finding Nemo. You write your name on it, write everybody's name on it. It's kind of a big deal. So Amanda made her own, and given that she is nonverbal, being able to hand out those Valentines is a really important part of her communication and her connection with her peers. But on Valentine's Day this year, while Amanda was out for speech therapy, her teacher forgot about Amanda, and her peers handed out their Valentines without her. Her teacher was mortified that she had made this error, and everyone felt bad, but the emotional damage had already been done. In telling me this story, her mom bowed her head in tears and said, "I really don't blame the teacher. She's overwhelmed, but it won't get any better than this." So what am I supposed to do? Special ed is at the bottom of the totem pole. So as a team, how do you respond to this? When these parents have been let down, students feel ashamed, and teachers feel undersupported and overwhelmed, there's only one way to move forward. You design for trust. So, it sounds great, but how do we do that? We start with prioritizing our users' needs first. So yes, designing for trust sounds great. We're a young tech company. Building trust in our brand is an integral part of our success, but that's not the kind of trust that I'm talking about today. I'm talking about building the trust between parents and teachers first. That's really what makes SpedX possible. I joined SpedX last fall, eager to be a part of a team designing tools for parents and educators in special education, but I'm learning that we have to slow down and start by designing for trust for them first. So where do we start? I asked questions, I listened, and I observed. I talked to designers from Airbnb, listened to leadership from IDEO, talked to my mentors from the Home Depot, and most of all, I worked with my team of engineers, product strategists, and partners as we talked to our users. First and foremost, as any information architect would tell you, we had to define what we were designing for. So, how do you design for trust? We had to gain an understanding of what really that meant. In our interviews, we listened to their fears. One teacher I spoke to was talking to me about being buried in paperwork. She told us, when it comes down to choosing between my paperwork and spending meaningful time with my kids, hands down, I dropped the paperwork. But as a result, I am perpetually behind. She shared her fears that her students were not being properly prepared to thrive beyond the classroom, and so that became her focus, at the detriment of her being able to fill her bureaucratic obligations. In unpacking those fears with them, we uncovered their goals and their needs. Through these conversations, we compiled the ingredients for what trust looks like for these parents, for these teachers, and for these students. And we started to map out how all of this looked. So, we designed to be the bridge. In identifying this trust gap between the core members of a student's team, we see an opportunity for parents, students, and teachers to work together towards their common goal of student success. Each student and their team has their own unique journey, and SpedX is their guide to keep all of the players connected and moving forward together. As Airbnb said so well in their reflections of their own product, we seek to minimize uncertainties in our product online so that we can enable for a meaningful experience offline in the real world. We set the stage for everyone on the board and then get out of the way. And like a good friend, we'll be there for you when you need us. Lastly, designed to be a constant. When it comes to a child's success in school, any combination of past disappointments, lack of communication or clarity, and constant change make the arena of special education particularly tender. When the environment is sensitive like this, the concept of permanence, a key element of design, establishes that critical sense of trust, something that teachers, students, and parents can rely on from year to year. In talking to one parent the other day, she described to me her incredible relationship that she had with her teacher of her daughter for the past 9 years. She said, "I have an amazing teacher, but I absolutely dread when I'll have to leave and start all over with someone else." There's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity to provide that stability and that constance, that steadiness in moments where parents or teachers have to take leaps of faith as their students work towards progress in their education. With these ingredients in mind, we believe that once trust takes root, long-standing biases and barriers can begin to fall away and powerful teamwork can emerge. So, in honor of Amanda and all of the teachers and all of the parents that we're talking to, the more we are able to design for collaboration that instills trust, bring in and involve those parents and those teachers and those students, we can introduce avenues for fresh thinking in the areas that need it the most. And that's when we'll begin to be discovering pathways for a better future. Thank you.